The number one thing that a utility needs to think about when they're thinking about digital transformation is change management. At the end of the day, these solutions will change the way that you do things every single day.
It is a change process, but it's a change for the better. It's helping them do their jobs more efficiently, right? A lot of utilities sometimes look at digital transformation and they maybe are concerned about headcount reduction, for example. That is not the case at all. They already have enough work to do. It's about helping them minimize the fires that they need to put out and focus on their actual day-to-day job.
We're not seeing jobs go away as a result of digital. In some cases, actually the opposite, because now we have all this data. How do we use this data? And that requires more people looking at it, more people working with it.
They have more visibility, more insight, more information that they've ever had before. But because they've never had it before, they've never been able to take action against it. So a really big piece of the change management is changing what you do with that insight. This can be really exciting, right? Individuals who have always yearned for more information and more insight may be really engaged and very excited on day one to pull that digital insight in to change what they're doing.
Some things the utilities should consider when they're bringing in digital solutions like Xylem Vue is a little bit of pre-thought on what type of sensors they might need, what type of information they're trying to gather. So really get an understanding of what problem you're trying to solve, what the different routes are of getting it, and that'll help you identify all the components that are needed. So that when you build your digital solution, all of the components are there in place and in advance. You don't have to double back and do anything that might add expense or time or effort to your project. All of those things require you to get your people involved early and keep them involved throughout the process. Help them understand where the benefits are and what those successes are.
I think as smart water technologies are being brought in, utilities certainly need to consider how those will be adopted, how they get teams on board, specifically some of the field teams, operations teams, using that technology. And in particular, I think one way to help achieve that is not to simply do a rollout and then have a project finished and have everyone expected to use it, but rather speak to those teams along the way and help shape that solution. It's very important, certainly at the beginning and throughout, to have touch points on a regular basis, so everyone's on board with the direction that's being taken.
What worked for me at DC Water, in a prior role I was the GM of DC Water, where we embarked on a very significant digital transformation, is we started by asking our team, what are the things that you're interested in doing? It wasn't a pain point necessarily. It wasn't necessarily even a problem. It was something that they had heard at a conference that they were interested in learning more about, but they were asking. And we created a log of things that our team wanted to do, and almost none of them were solving a crisis. Let's do something we can master, demonstrate what's the value, but also have the utility feel like we're proud of ourselves. We've done this, we can do more, let's have at it. And that's the pathway that leads to incredible outcomes.